any louder? We're gonna wait and see if some people join. Thanks. Okay, I see a couple people are on. I'm gonna give it another minute or two. I kind of want to know who I'm talking to, so if you can drop in the comments who's on, that'd be great. Just give me peace of mind and validation of who I'm talking to. Hi, Cami. Okay, I'm gonna give it another moment or two. I logged on right at 7. I was punctual, but we'll give it a second. I know a lot of people are gonna watch this from replay. Hi, Amy. That is you, Amy, right? Okay, yeah, that looks like your icon. Um, Long time no talk. Well, I talk to you on Snapchat all the time. I'll probably say like 7:05. I will like start talking content, but drop any questions, comments, concerns you have in the chat, and I will try to kind of like address this. Hi, Chloe. But yeah, if you want to drop any comments, questions, or concerns you have about like creating and monetizing content, drop them in the chat and I will try to kind of like bring them up. I don't want this to be like a lecture where I'm like lecturing at you guys for like an hour. I want this to be like a conversation of, hey, I've been monetizing my content for a while. Like, ask me your questions. Oh, look, there's 5 people. This is my first live stream. This is like exciting. I also like to ramble when I'm nervous. So there's that. Okay. Cami asked how to know if an email is a scam. That's a great question. I will definitely bring that up. Chloe, do you reach out to brands or do they reach out to you? And what do you say when you reach out to them? Also, a great question. I will bring that up as well. We're going to give it another like moment or two for some people to hop on. I think I said 7:05. I also like have notes here because that's the type of person I am. So if I'm like looking down, those are my notes. Did I already say hi to Karen? Hi, Karen. Wow, 6 people. I feel popular. Oop, getting text messages. Okay. Hey, Seth. Hey, Salma. Wow. Yay, people. I'm so excited. Karen, Seth, and Salma. If you missed, I said drop your like comments, questions, concerns in the like chat about like monetizing content, and I will try to kind of organically get through it as I'm kind of talking tonight. But I want this to be more of like a conversation between people. I know you guys are in the chat and you're not like video with me and less like me lecturing at you for an hour. But I do, y'all have asked me a whole bunch of questions, so I do want to like help, I guess. Yes, hit that like button. Thank you, Cami. It's just shy of 7:05. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get started and be, like, mindful of everyone's time. So thank you guys for joining. I know most of you guys in the chat, but if you don't know me, if you're watching the replay, my name is Frances, and I have been monetizing my content and working with that for probably about 2 years. I've been taking it seriously. I really started taking it seriously at the beginning of this year when I got laid off from my job as a way to bring in some extra money, and I had some extra time, so I was able to monetize my content. YouTube is not my biggest platform. I only have about just over 300 subscribers on here, so I'm not making money from like AdSense or ad revenue. I am making money more from brand deals, gifted deals, hosted deals. Instagram is my biggest platform. I have just over 4,500 followers there, so I'm still considered very much a micro influencer. And then TikTok, I think I'm at 25 or 2,600. So, roughly my statistics there. I'm really happy in the year 2022. I've brought in almost $6,000 this year from social media alone, which I'm very, very happy. We're going to talk about how I did that. So first I want to go over some terms that I'm going to be using just so like everyone understands the things that I am saying and you're not like, what does this word mean? She keeps repeating it, keeps saying it and whatnot. So there are three different types of collaborations on social media, and those are the types of collaborations I'm going to be talking about. You've gifted, hosted, and paid. So gifted is exactly what it sounds like. You get a product in exchange for posting about it. So you can get a pair of shoes, you can get leggings, you can get candles, you can get a piece of art. You are not paid in anything except for that product in agreement for whatever you're posting on social media. The second one is hosted. So, hosted is more of an experience. So, that could be a hotel stay, a dinner. If you're lucky enough, a trip to a theme park. I don't know how many of you guys follow Cedar Point, but Cedar Point did a huge creator day this past weekend where they had a whole bunch of influencers creating content at Cedar Point on their behalf. So that's what hosted is. And then the last one is paid. So that one means you're negotiating a rate um, to promote the product. So paid can be paid and gifted, where you're like, I'm going to get $100 to do X, Y, and Z on top of the product. Or it could potentially just be paid if it's like a digital product or an app, something like that. Again, if anyone has any questions, please drop them in the chat and I will be happy to answer them as I'm kind of naturally going through this conversation. So Cami brought up media kits. So that's actually the next point on here. So a media kit is essentially your social media resume. So you have your resume for work that says, you got X, Y, and Z education, you've had this job, you have this skill set. So think of it like that, but it's more visually appealing. So on a media kit, you kind of want to have a couple things. First is example of content. So most of the time you're going to do photography because it's just the easiest. So things you've shot for Instagram, for example. You have that all aesthetically pleasing. Then you have some information about yourself. So mine says that, like, I'm Frances, I'm 26, I live in Central Florida, I'm a big theme park. A little blurb about, me. They want to know you as a person. Next, you want to do like a blurb of brands that you've worked with. So in the Disney community, you can do this two ways, and I have both laid out in my media kit. The first one is small shops that you've worked with. I know a lot of people in the Disney community have worked with small shops. So you can kind of put like, I've worked with, these small shops that create, X, Y, and Z products and name them. And then the next section, or you can kind of include them together. I have mine listed separately. Will be any name, bigger, recognizable brands that you've worked with. So for me, I've worked with Macy's, I've worked with Poshmark, I've worked with Denny's, I'm working with Buca de Beppo tomorrow, so they'll be on there. I've worked with Planet Hollywood. Recognizable brands can go there, and you can kind of say that you've worked with them and you have experience with them. The next thing is demographics. So whatever platform that you choose is going to be your like main platform. So mine's Instagram because it's where I have the most following. You put some sample demographics for them. So what age is your audience? Where are they living? That type of stuff, the content that they do. So most of my demographics it's females living in the United States, mostly in Orlando, usually from the ages of like 18 to 35. that type of stuff. Um, and then demographics for your audience. And then including that demographics, I would actually highlight your profile as well. Now that I'm thinking about it, my media kit is a link. So when this goes live, I'm going to drop the link in the description so you guys can see it. There's nothing like super confidential in there. I'll scratch my contact information out when I post it in here. So going back, you're going to include like in that demographics, you're going to include information about your social media platform. So for my Instagram one, it's how many people are following me on Instagram, my engagement rate, and it kind of goes in there with the demographics. And then lastly, you're going to have your contact information. So your email address that you use for your social media. I have my phone number on there, etc. I also have links to my other social media platforms as well. So if they don't particularly want Instagram, but they want TikTok, my TikTok's in there. I have some TikTok demographics as well. My YouTube is listed in there, etc. And then kind of bookending it to make it pretty, some more examples of content that I've shot both personally and for brands. So that's kind of media kits in a nutshell. Yes, Chloe, you can include more than one type of social on your media kit. Just make sure you're hitting those demographics just so they know. So I have both my Instagram and my TikTok highlighted, and then I have my separate demographics for it. So I have, 4,500 followers on Instagram. My engagement rate is this. This is their demographics. I have 2,600 followers on TikTok. My engagement rate is XYZ. This is where my TikTok audience lies. Brands are really looking for followers, engagement, and then that demographic. So most of my like audience is going to be like women and like theme park enthusiasts and whatnot. So like I wouldn't go try to do like Black and Decker because they're like a manly company selling like hardware and tools and stuff. So my audience doesn't match with their ideal audience, but restaurants or clothing brands are really really good for me because my demographic can fall with their demographic, if that makes sense. And then media kits are what you send to brands when they ask to like you working with them and whatnot. So essentially, like when you apply for a job and you submit a resume, when you're applying for a collaboration or emailing a brand or discussing stuff with a brand, your media kit kind of goes with that too. So kind of think of it like a job. So going back to a couple of the comments before, how do I get collaborations? So that kind of falls under two buckets as well. The first one is cold calling, for lack of a better word, or cold emailing brands. So finding a PR contact, looking on their website for a contact information, messaging on Instagram, and then reaching out on their behalf. I have a stock email that I will switch up a little bit when I'm sending it to a brand, and it'll include my media kit and it'll have a little bit of a summary and kind of what I'm looking for. And I will send that out there. I usually do one follow up if I don't hear from a brand. So if I send that, I wait about 2 weeks. And if I haven't heard from them, I just go, hey, I was really interested in working with you guys. I'm just going to reach out again just to see. Sometimes your first email will hit a spam folder and the second one will come through, and usually a brand will apologize. Cami, I've always been nervous about reaching out to brands. I never know what to say. That is kind of the jumping off point. I was that way as well, where I'm kind of like, oh my goodness, I have to email these people. And it's kind of like going on a date or meeting people for the first time. You kind of just have to like jump and just kind of do with it. I've kind of perfected my pitch email. I'm not going to say that it works all the time, but I've kind of perfected the language and kind of what I want to say and how I want to pitch myself. And I honestly just copy and paste it and then change, a couple of the words. You don't want to send it to the wrong brand or mention the wrong industry or whatnot. So I just kind of tweak it for each one that I'm emailing to, because you just don't want to mass send the same email to like 10, 15 brands. You do want to make it unique and personal, kind of like a cover letter for a job. So that's one way, is just like cold reaching out and whatnot. And most of the time, if you're looking at a company's website, they'll have a contact us information. They'll be like, oh, for media inquiries or press inquiries or brand collaborations, do this one. It's usually like press at the website, PR at the website, collaborations at the website. You just kind of have to do a little bit of digging. Worst case scenario, I've reached out on Instagram and been like, "Hey, my name is Francis, and I'm a theme park content creator. I'm really interested in working with you guys. Can I have the email address for a PR media content to talk to?" So that is that one. The second one is there are a lot of like influencer networks, for lack of a better word, that'll kind of curate campaigns and you just have to like apply to them. So there's a wide spectrum. There is things like influencer where you will only get like free product and you just have to like check off stuff on an app. Like I posted it on IG or I posted it on Instagram or I did a YouTube unboxing, all the way to something like Aspire.io. So Aspireio. It's late at night, so if I can't spell, I'm sorry. They will have like paid collaborations where you're bidding and sending a proposal and pitching and whatnot. And that's kind of like the spectrum. So if you Google like influencer networks or influencer marketing, there's just so many tons. I can start naming them. So if you have a pen and paper out and you're taking notes, start writing now because I think I'm a part of 10 or 12 right now. So influencers one, and Cami spelled it in the comments, so that's one. Mostly gifted. We sponsored, which is a new like app-based one that I kind of like, does gifted with like a sprinkle of paid. Like you're not going to make a lot of money, but you'll make like $10 to $15 in addition to the product. Let me actually put these in the chat for you guys. So we sponsored. I think I spelled that wrong, actually. I'm sorry, guys. Sponsored. The next one is Heartbeat. So exactly like what your heart does. It's an app and a website. They pay abysmally. Like I think I just got a pay increase on there and I only make $25 per Instagram post, which is abysmal in the influencer marketing industry. So take that with a grain of salt. But Heartbeat's on there. We'll do Heartbeat. I also like an app called Four. Four actually will pull your demographics for you, and then they also have a campaign feature as well. I've worked with them for a couple things and done brand ambassadors with them. I mentioned Aspire.io earlier, so I'm going to put that in the chat as well. They do paid, but they've done a couple like gifted collaborations with them. Peers Way is another one. Peers Way. I'm trying to think of all the ones that like email me. I just did one with Babelbox. Now I'm just gonna like start dropping them in the chat, guys, as I'm thinking of them. Babelbox. I just did my campaign today. Was actually with Babelbox. I did the food one, which was super fun. My Denny's one was through Microdrive. I should have gotten a list of these beforehand. Heartbeat for Aspire.io. I use Biz Agents for like product as well. If you know of any, drop them in the chat as well. As I think of them, I'll put that in there. So Seth asked, how do you find brands that you want to work with? Oh, hi, Pete and Allie. So Seth, so at the beginning, I feel like I very much just accepted whatever brand collaborations came my way. And now I'm being a little bit more selective. I got an email from a brand today that wanted a whole bunch of deliverables for a free product. And I said no. Because it was like a video and an Instagram story and a TikTok. And I was like, your product is worth $50. It's not worth my time to film all of that content and give it to you for $50 worth of product. It's very much just brands that you think that you're going to be using and that you like. So would I love to work with Disney? Yes. Am I at the point that I can work with Disney? No. Would I love to work with Starbucks because I drink them all the time? Yes. Am I at the point that I can work with Starbucks? No. So I'm going to start working with like I won't say like lower level brands, but like smaller brands that I can build up this experience, build up my media kit. And then hopefully when I get a little bit bigger, start pitching, your Disney, your Starbucks and whatnot. I'm very, very close to being able to pitch SeaWorld and Busch Gardens down here, which I'm very, very happy about. So I very much pitch myself as a Central Florida content creator. So it's me living my life in Central Florida. So I want to use brands that I would use in my life. So whether that is restaurants in Lake Nona where I live, if it's Buca de Beppo, which I'm working with tomorrow, if it's Planet Hollywood in Disney Springs, I've done them before. Whether if it's stuff that like I could take to the parks and use, or makeup that I can use, or skincare products that I can use. It's very much your decision of how you want to like curate yourself. But when you hit a certain point, the brand deals that you take and you latch onto can start to feel inauthentic. Like I don't ride motorcycles, so I can't take anything with like motorcycles. I have no interest in cars, so I probably wouldn't do anything that's related to cars. I drive a car, but I'm not going to do like huge brand deals with anything related to cars. But I love Starbucks, and I like food, and my boyfriend and I like going to restaurants. So, going to restaurants would naturally fit into my content, whereas like mowing lawn or lawn care or stuff like that wouldn't fit into my like naturally into my feed. I am remembering some other platforms that I use, so I'm just going to drop them in the comments again. Like anything you see from me in the comments is just like brand networks that I'm using. Okay, so that is how I get collaboration. So either through these like brand networks, influencer networks types things, or it's just biting the bullet with this stock email and just emailing them. Sometimes you're gonna get rejected. It's like applying for a job and they're gonna be like, you're not qualified or we don't want to work with you right now. It happens. If they say yes, that's amazing. And that's such a good feeling. Now, this is going to touch on Cammie's comment towards the top, which is like, how can you tell if this is like legitimate? So, kind of what to look for when brands are reaching out to you. Any of those Instagram messages that come in that are like, hey dear, hey babe, hey girly, hey this, we're looking for brand ambassadors. Just ignore them. Just delete it. They're not worth your time, they're not worth your effort, it's not good. If a brand is asking you to pay for anything, so I'm not talking a Disney small shop that like you're helping support a small shop and you really, really like them. I'm talking about an established brand is asking you to pay for shipping, to pay for product or anything, immediately say no. You should not have to pay to promote products. Disney small shops and Disney small shop community aside, that's a different thing. An actual like established brand should not be paying you, or you should not be paying for that product. If they want to work for you with you and you're going to promote their product, they should at least be doing a gifted campaign for you where they're going to send you whatever thing in exchange for your Instagram post, for in exchange for your YouTube video, in exchange for your TikTok. Think of this as a business. So you have to equate like if I'm getting that $50 worth of product for free, is that $50 worth my time to film and edit a YouTube video? Is it worth my time to shoot, edit, and post an Instagram story? Is it worth my time, filming and posting like a TikTok? Like, think of this as like, that's why we're monetizing our content. Think of this as a business. So make sure that like whatever they're asking for equates to like what you think value is. So if you agree that this $50 worth of product is worth your time to film it, go ahead and do it. If you don't, then that's when you start to say no. So any of those types of stuff. Cami, I'm going to use an example and I apologize in advance. Cami asked me about a brand deal that had reached out to her a couple weeks ago at this point in time, and they were talking about affiliate programs. Affiliate programs and monetizing your content are kind of under the same umbrella, but I would say they're two different things. So, monetizing your content is if you're getting money. So, like, I post this Instagram post and I'm going to get $100 via my bank, PayPal, a check, whatever. An affiliate program is I'm promoting this product in exchange for the potential of getting 10% of sales or 5% of sales. They can work in tandem where you're getting paid for a product and there's also a chance for you to join an affiliate program. But an affiliate program is not necessarily monetizing your content. So I'm a part of a couple affiliate programs. Disney has one, Shop Disney has one, Target has one, Macy's has one, Canva has one, the nail gels that I use have one, Amazon has one. They're great in addition as like an extra source of income, similar to like YouTube AdSense or TikTok Creator Fund. There's no guarantee that you're going to get that money. So you're kind of agreeing to potentially 10% of sales or 5% of sales or whatever that percentage is. The brand deals that I like to think of it is guaranteed money. So you produce the Instagram story, you produce the Instagram, excuse me, post, you're gonna get that $100. Like as long as you like usually there's a contract, as long as you fulfill your end of the contract, you're getting it. There's no if, ands, or buts. There's no potential for this, potential for that. So the wording in the email is very, very important. So look out for things that are like affiliate or potential for commission because that's not necessarily a brand deal. The last thing that I want to kind of say is don't think that you can't advocate for yourself. And there's no harm in asking for something. The worst they can say is no. So I worked with a brand at the beginning of the year. I think now it was like February, Marchish. They proposed one rate for the deliverables that they were asking for. I proposed a different rate, a higher rate, clearly, and I got it. So don't be scared to ask for what you think you're compensated for. Don't sell, yeah, great point, Cami. Don't sell yourself short, especially if they're asking for things like usage rights. So, usage rights means that if I'm taking a photo for this brand, they have free reign to post it on their social media for all eternity. It's not just me posting it now, it's the brand posting it as well. So usage rights is something that you have to consider, and this brand wanted usage rights, so I negotiated more money because I was like, well, if you're going to use this image in perpetuity forever, I'm going to ask for more money. They were also asking for 6 slide Instagram story, a video that they could use in marketing, 3 to 6 photos they could use in marketing, and then I think it was one photo that had to stay on my Instagram feed. So I negotiated more money because I was like, hey, you're asking for a lot here. I'm going to need you to give me a little bit more. And luckily they said yes. Also, if a brand reaches out to you, it happened to me today, and they were like, we're just going to give you this one gifted product and we want X, Y, and Z. Don't be afraid to be like, hey, do you have an influencer marketing budget for this campaign? If so, can we discuss rates? The worst thing they can do is say no, and it's only a gifted campaign. And then you think about it and go, okay, do I want this one product for whatever deliverables that I have to give the brand, an Instagram story, a TikTok, etc. And that's more a personal thing of like how much time and effort is going to take you to create that Instagram story, that TikTok, etc. Is it worth that product? I think the only thing that I haven't touched on, and we kind of went quickly because I talk fast, is rate cards. And that is something that I don't want to give too much advice on because it's very much what you're comfortable pitching and what you're comfortable asking. The best advice I can say is don't sell yourself short and make sure that you have a rate card. So essentially, a rate card is I charge X for a YouTube video, I charge X for a YouTube shout out, I charge X for an Instagram story, I charge X for an Instagram post, etc. There are information that will help you online, but I don't want to give like financial advice or anything like that. That's very much you need to determine how much time it's going to take you to produce that content, how much you're willing to sell yourself for, and then you have to factor in your Instagram following, your engagement rate, stuff like that, because that kind of stuff factors into your into your rate card. I'm not saying charge thousands of dollars because I don't know if brands are going to pay that, and if they do, good for you. But you do want to be like, okay, YouTube videos are a little bit more intensive. I have a bigger following on YouTube. I'm going to charge more for that versus an Instagram post. I charge more for Instagram than YouTube because I have a bigger following on Instagram. Not so much an engagement rate with the new algorithm, but than I do on YouTube. YouTube is a very, very smaller rate, but YouTube is more work because I have to sit down, film, and edit a video. What kind of following numbers do you find companies are looking for? Is there a general floor, or do you find a very great question, Allie or Pete? I'm not sure who's on Two Tiny Wings right now. So that's not like there's no specific number per se. I have a rough idea of I know what what it takes to go work with Disney. I have a rough idea of what it takes to work with the SeaWorld and the Busch Gardens down here because I have friends that are in this space and doing it. So like I am just shy of hitting that SeaWorld and Busch Gardens threshold. I'm very, very close. it depends. I'm at the point that I can get hosted restaurant, like, visits, but I'm not at the point that I can get, like, a hotel stay. A hotel stay is usually around 10K, but it varies by brand and the influencer manager or the brand manager. To work with Disney, I've seen anyone as small as 10K to people with, millions of followers, like the Bucket List family. So it varies depending on what the campaign is and what they're looking for. Um, so usually restaurants are a bit lower of a threshold. Most of the ones in Disney Springs will work with you if you have about 2,000 followers. Um, and then when you want to start getting into hotel stays, I would say roughly 10K. And this is Instagram. YouTube I'm not as well versed on, unfortunately. Just because I've been on the Instagram space for a lot longer than I've been creating YouTube, and that's kind of where my knowledge is. Yeah, so a hosted stay would be like your 10,000, and then I have a lot of friends that work with like Vera Bradley's and the Color Pops, and they're in the 10 to 20,000 followers. So it varies, and it very much depends on what specifically the brand is looking for that campaign, how you pitch yourself, your engagement rate. There are a couple different factors. Again, if you pitch yourself to a brand and they say no, that's literally the worst thing that's gonna happen. I don't think you're any worse off. You shot your shot. If they say yes, it's amazing. If they don't, you move on and maybe you try again when you have another 1,000 followers. Um, the people at Planet Hollywood that like run Planet Hollywood, Chicken Guy, Buca de Beppo and whatnot have been great to work with, and they've been accepting like every single time that I've like talked to them. But the people that run Paddlefish, the people that run Wine Bar George have just never clicked, and I've never had enough followers to work with them. So I think it very much is like a lot of factors: your followers, your engagement rate, how you pitch yourself, what their needs are, etc. So I've been talking for like a half an hour. So I'm gonna give it like a moment or two to see if anyone else has any questions. That was kind of like my big points I wanted to go through to try to help people. If you need or if you want to, you can always message me on Instagram. It's the same as my YouTube handle, Dream Finding with Francis. If you ever have questions, I have no problem answering them. The internet is also a wonderful place. You can Google so many things and they might answer a lot faster. And then the other thing is just look and see what other people are doing. So, what are other people in the Disney space? Who are they working with? A lot of us worked with Pop Shop Live that one time. So, like, if you want to work with Pop Shop Live and you weren't in that like group, try pitching yourself. I have a lot of friends that worked with Denny's, and they fortunately like reached out to me before I had the chance to pitch them. And I've worked with Denny's twice now. So, like, noticing those types of things. So, biggest things is don't be scared to shoot your shot. Create your media kit, create your pitch template, and start emailing brands that you want to work with. Also, don't sell yourself short. So if you think it's going to cost you, X amount of money, and that's your threshold, try to stay, true to that threshold, and don't sell yourself short. Creating content is a job. So like it takes a lot, it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. It's not just shooting a photo and like posting it there. There's thinking about the photo, getting dressed and putting on makeup if you're a girl, going to a location, getting the perfect shot, editing the shot, sending it to the brand, writing the caption. It is a lot of work. So do not sell yourself short. Like if you want $100 for your post, try to stay to $100. Maybe accept 95, but like don't try to go under that. Because it is a lot of work. Um I lost my train of thought. I don't know where I was going with this. Yeah, if you have questions, comments, or concerns, put them in the comments on the replay. I will try my best to answer them. If not, please reach out to me on Instagram. I will try my best to remember when this replay like loads to drop my media kit in the not the comments, in the description, so you guys can take a look at example. If not, Google Media Kit. Canva has a template. It's beautiful. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to stay on for another minute or two just to see if there are any other lingering questions. Instagram is always open. My comments are always open. I hope this helped. I hope you guys are able to monetize your content. A lot of you guys are already over the YouTube threshold, so you're getting some AdSense money. I'm hoping some brand deals can come your way and you can start working with some really cool brands. Maybe get yourself like a Denny's hosted experience, or work with work with anyone that you're able to. I don't know if anyone is still in college. Influencer and the influencer and intern queen are like college based like influencer platforms where you can get stuff. That's what I did my Tommy Hilfiger one because I'm still a part of the intern queen network. Because even though I graduated last year, they kept me on with the program. So that's great. But yeah, just if you want easy ways to apply for brands, just search for influencer networks or content creator networks, and they will literally just give you a list of things and you just start applying. And hopefully one of them sticks. It's kind of like playing the lottery. Like you're not going to win every single time, but hopefully one of them will stick and you'll be able to start monetizing content. Oh, oh, MJ, I wish you and I could rep for the Muppets. That would be wonderful. And I have some exciting prospects potentially with the Muppets that I cannot talk about, but I'm not working with them as a brand rep. There are other opportunities that are happening that I'm very excited for in the potential future that maybe I'll be able to talk about at some point in time. But it's not me working with the Muppets. I wish. It's other stuff. If I can be any more vague, I will be. Yeah, I'm going to stay on for another moment or two. I planned on staying until 8, but I talk very fast when I am nervous. So we got through my hour of content in 35 minutes, which happened with a lot of presentations in undergrad because I ramble and I talk very fast. But if you have any lingering comments, questions, or concerns, please drop them in the chat. If not, I'll be ending in a couple minutes. Hey, Shuri, how are you doing? You're welcome, Cami. I hope this helped. And if you ever have questions, you know where to find me. Shoot me a DM. And this is just the awkward part where I just sit here for a second and see if anyone has any questions. Miss you, Amy. Come to Florida soon when I don't have COVID so I can see you. Oh, you're welcome, Aaron. I missed your comment. Sorry. There are a lot of people popping off. I don't know what people do during live streams. This is the first one that I've ever done. I don't know what you do to like fill time just in case. I'm gonna pop off at 7:38, so you guys have like less than 60 seconds to post any daunting, burning questions in the chat. If not, I'm leaving. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Wednesday night. Phenomena. You're welcome, Salma. I hope you're having a good Wednesday night, or it's afternoon for you, right? West Coast time? Yeah, it's 4 o'clock. Hope you're having a good Wednesday afternoon. Phenomena. Phenomena. Okay, I don't think anyone has any burning questions, so I'm calling it. I miss shooting content and hanging out with you, Erin. You should also visit when I don't have COVID because you came the same weekend as Amy. So you should also come visit. I actually reached out to Hershey Park about potentially working with them and they haven't answered. So they're going to get their follow up email probably next week. Fingers crossed for that one. Okay, I don't see any more burning questions. Erin, if you want to talk, text me. You have my number. I hope you guys are staying happy, healthy, and safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.